Welcome back to the Sports Desk, ladies and gentlemen. I totally butchered the intro, but that's okay. I'm Splash. Jack is back, so we don't have to do a solo show this week. What an exciting time to be alive. How's it
I actually
going,
like the way that sounded better.
Ooh,
Welcome
awesome.
back to the sport. I like that. That's
welcome
catchy.
back. How's it going, man?
I was gone for a week. I was in Colorado.
Yes.
That was fun. And yeah, it's been a great weekend so far.
Good stuff. Good stuff. The Dodgers, your Dodgers play the Padres. Fernando Tatis is back.
We're going to be looking at that, by the way.
Oh yeah, we will be looking at that. Our script is kind of all over the place, but hey, guess what? That's okay. It's the sports desk for a reason. It's not the basketball desk. It's not the football desk. It's not the hockey desk. It's not.
It's sports neutral.
Yeah, it is kind of sports neutral, even though we don't talk about underwater basket weaving. So, is that really a sport, though?
It could
be. Honestly, I mean,
it could be one of those ancient Olympic sports that they did in like Greece back in the 1800s or something. We don't know.
I don't know about that one, but okay. Let's jump right into it today. For our first topic, we're going to preview some of the most exciting games of the 2021 season coming up. It is the 17 games, or I'm sorry, the extra 17th game for the 32 NFL teams, cross-conference play, Jack and my teams play. Perhaps that might be the most exciting game.
Rams, it could.
Up in M&T Bank. We saw what happened last time. I don't think that's going to happen. I think both of us are pretty confident the Rams will keep it within 39 points. But there's some spicy games. There are some really spicy ones. So besides Ravens-Rams, which ones catch your eye?
We were just talking about it before the show. I actually mentioned the wrong opponent, but it's the Green Bay Packers are taking on the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City. That's a really spicy one. Mahomes Rodgers is always a good time. Yeah, State Farm Bowl.
Yes, sir. What people will claim we should have had as the Super Bowl the last 2 years, even though the Packers weren't better than the 49ers and weren't better than the Bucks this year. But we get it in the regular season. Aaron Rodgers plays really well in the regular season. Mahomes plays really well in the regular season.
And then Aaron Rodgers goes to the NFC Championship.
Yeah,
and we know how it goes from there.
Probably will lose to an NFC West team. So congratulations, Jack. You're one of the NFC West teams.
It could be the Cardinals. No, I'm just kidding. The Cardinals aren't going to make it.
One game that is exciting to me: Washington versus Buffalo. Up in Orchard Park. Washington's kind of reloaded. They have Fitzmagic. Fitzmagic has played against the AFC East a comically large number of times. But hey, guess what? He's back in the AFC East. He's gonna play he's gonna play Boston. What? He's gonna play Buffalo. I'm sorry. So I'm super excited to see that you have an elite defense in Washington. We've talked about it before on the show, but Washington is one of the teams that has an elite unit on the field. I talked about it with Pittsburgh. I talked about it with the 2020 Rams. If you are elite at something, you will win games. This is a game that I think Washington can win, even if it's in Buffalo, even if Josh Allen plays at the same level he did in 2020. Washington can beat Buffalo, and that's immediately like number one, number two on my board, outside of course, Ravens-Rams.
Yeah. And I mean, depending on who plays quarterback for Washington, we saw with Heineke, they almost beat Tampa Bay in the playoffs.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, the possibilities are crazy for that one. That one looks really fun.
Oh, they really are. You also got Dallas and New England, another AFC, NFC East showdown. You also have the Giants and Dolphins. Could be an exciting game. And you wrap it up with the New York Jets, every stadium user's favorite team, and the Philadelphia Eagles, every stadium user's least favorite team. So that's an exciting U stadium specific matchup. But I think perhaps the worst matchup might be Detroit at Denver. I don't think Detroit's going to be very good. Denver should have a pretty easy win there. Good job, Drew Lock. You got a victory.
49ers versus Bengals also looks kind of dull.
Ooh. Although Joe Burrow should be back for that.
Yeah, he should.
And then the other two games in that division would be Steelers, Seahawks. That could be an exciting game, although I think those teams are both on the decline. And then Cardinals Browns. Both of those teams, in theory, are on the rise.
That could be a good one.
Yeah, should be a good one.
We'll put that as like our dark horse. It could be a good one.
We have the Khalil Mack Bowl, Bears Raiders. It's exciting.
Colts Bucks is one of them.
Ooh, we have Vikings Chargers. We saw that game in 2019. Minnesota won by 29.
This is the old Chargers. This was Justin Herbert, or not Justin Herbert. This was Phillip Rivers. This
is true.
Anthony Lynn. I almost forgot his name. I've been memeing on him for so long. I almost forgot his name.
Yeah, I feel you there. Although I do think that should be a very good game. You have Minnesota. That's like a matchup of teams that could win the division. Minnesota could maybe steal the division away from Green Bay. Minnesota, a really strong offseason, I think. And they are loaded in terms of draft picks. I know they don't have a 2, but they have like 3 or 4 threes. So they're a team that can move up if they need to. They can get a lot of quality players in the draft. And then the Chargers, we saw it last year. They went 7-9 with some of the worst luck in the league. And you're getting year 2 out of Herbert. Joey Bosa, Derwin James is coming back.
Really, if you're the Chargers, you want to keep your fingers crossed that you don't have Justin Herbert go on his good streak after you're mathematically eliminated.
Yeah.
Because they won like 4 games in a row the week after they got kicked out.
Yep.
You want to hope Derwin James stays healthy.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
You want to hope Brandon Staley is as advertised, which defensively you should be great.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So let's move on to the AFC versus NFC South. The Falcons at the Jags could be interesting. The Saints at the Titans rematch. Well, of course, rematch of the 2019 game. No Derrick Henry in the 2019 game. Titans might look to grab the dub there. Panthers Texans. We have the failed trade bowl here because, of course, Deshaun Watson could have been a Panther, but he has all the off the field issues now. McCaffrey could have been a Texan if you make that trade. I don't know if you actually do that.
Don't think so.
And then you have the Colts and the Bucks up in Indianapolis. That would be an exciting game.
Carson Wentz on his new team versus Mr. TB12.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, of course, we wrapped up the AFC North versus NFC West. Cardinals at Browns. Rams at Ravens. 49ers at Bengals. And then the Seahawks at the Steelers. So make sure you drop. Actually, we'll do a comment challenge. Let's do it. Austin Wright, Kyler versus Baker. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
That'll be fun.
Comment what game you're most excited to see. Is it Ravens? Is it Ravens Rams? Is it Bucks Chiefs? I'm sorry, Packers Chiefs. Is it, I don't know, Falcons Jags? That could be a Fields versus Lawrence game potentially, I guess. So I don't know. I don't think we've talked much about what we think the 49ers are going to do with the number 3 pick, but hey, that could be a Fields.
Mac Jones maybe? Justin Fields maybe? Don't know. We don't know. I didn't catch your mock draft, but
I sure hope they go Fields. Like no disrespect to Mac Jones, please go Fields or Lance.
Like you just said, if they don't take Fields, they're doing it completely wrong.
Oh yeah. All right. With that being said, we mentioned the Browns. They have been making some moves. They signed a couple of your guys in free agency, of course, with Troy Hill, John Johnson. So I'm sure you're mad about that. They also got another former NFC West star player. That's Jadeveon Clowney. How do you feel about the Browns acquiring the former number 1 overall pick, Jadeveon Clowney?
I talked about them bringing him in for a workout, and I thought that this would definitely help their pass rush and their defense. Right now, though, I look at it and I kind of get like J.J. Watt vibes, like I did from Arizona. Like he wasn't their biggest need, but he doesn't hurt, I would say.
Fair.
But Cleveland, that looks pretty scary. You have Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney on the same pass rush. That looks pretty threatening. And then they just picked up John Johnson and Troy Hill. Troy Hill's a little more inconsistent, but John Johnson's one of the best safeties in the league. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, I think it's a good move. I think for Cleveland. Of course, I'm rocking my Cavs, but I think it's a good move for Cleveland. And the point that I think a lot of people are going to miss for the Clowney deal, he's not coming in to be the number one. He's coming in to be the number two. Remember when he was number two in Houston behind J.J. Watt and Clowney was perennial All-Pro? He was a guy that people thought of really highly. Yeah, for a good reason. He's terrific against the run. That matters in the AFC North when Pittsburgh's going to try to establish the run. Cincinnati's going to try to establish the run, and Baltimore is the most dominant rushing attack ever. It matters in the division to have a great run defending edge player like Jadeveon Clowney. And guess what? He doesn't have to be the number one pass rusher like he did in Seattle. He's going to be more productive, and he's going to be perceived as more productive because he's the number two guy. And Garrett's going to get the gaudy sack numbers, and Clowney's just going to be able to play his role, get some sacks here or there if you need it, I guess. But he's going to get tackles for loss, run stops. He's going to be the reason that perhaps Baltimore averages 4.5 yards a carry instead of 5 yards a carry when they play Cleveland. He's going to be
ideally, I'd say he'd be like the Leonard Floyd in LA type situation where he's coming in to be the number two guy behind Aaron Donald. You let Donald do all the work, and you still get your play still helps. You still help with all the pass protection, or not pass protection. What am I thinking? I'm thinking offensive line.
You're good.
The word is completely slipped my mind. Pass rush, yeah. There was another word that I was thinking of. It completely slipped my mind. Pressure. Yeah. That was it. Okay, pressure.
That works.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's definitely someone that you can mix in. I believe they got rid of Olivier Vernon. They just cut Sheldon Richardson. So yeah, they are losing some talent.
Marquise Goodwin to the Bears.
Okay. We have breaking news today. Marquise Goodwin, former Olympian, was he a borderline Olympian or did he actually go to the Olympics?
I don't remember.
Superstar kind of athlete Marquise Goodwin apparently is going to the Chicago Bears.
Bears themselves tweeted it, so that's official.
Yeah, good stuff. So yeah, the Chicago Bears, Marquise Goodwin, okay, former 49er. He had some fun times over there in Santa Clara. So, I think he's a solid player, should help. But Andy Dalton.
Yeah. Dalton. Oh boy.
Andy Dalton,
I mean,
the Nick Foles still. Oh Lord. Anyways,
it's weird times in Chicago.
Yeah. Back to Clowney for a second. Clowney, I think he's been a guy that I've had as a top 100 player the last couple of years. He's not going to be in my top 100 this year, but he's a guy that the sack numbers have never been there. I understand. But when you look beyond the sack numbers, when you look at pressures, when you look at run defense, he does that. So he might not get 10, 12 sacks. He might not get 18 sacks. Guess what? That's what Myles Garrett is there for. So, yeah, I think the Clowney signing, I think, is going to be a key signing for the Browns. And if I was doing my power rankings tonight, I'd probably moving the Browns one spot ahead of the Ravens. So obviously that can change with the draft, but I think it's a good move for Cleveland.
Yeah, definitely. Draft isn't too far away. What is it
We are 13 days away from the draft. Actually, that's a perfect tangent. We are going to start some spicy draft content with the U Stadium Live Network. We are working on shows next Monday, Mondays in the future. We're going to try to do some live stuff during the draft. So if you don't want to watch those clowns on NFL Network or ESPN, or you can watch our buddy Connor Rogers for Bleacher Report, that's okay. But we're going to have some U Stadium Live Network stuff cooking on draft night. It's going to be lit. Make sure you tune in on the clock with U Stadium. We're going to have some pre-recorded stuff. We're going to have some live shows. We're going to have some some position rankings, film breakdowns maybe. It's exciting times. So, yeah.
It's night one is on Friday, right?
It's the 29th, so it'd be a Thursday.
Oh, so I don't know when night two. There's a chance we could be live during night two, but I don't know.
I feel like it starts at 7 Eastern, so we'll probably I don't know.
Yeah, we'll be if it's 7 Eastern and we start
we'll have
at our normal time.
We can see who the Jags take at 33, who the Jets take at 34, whatever. So that exciting times. Draft is coming up 13 days away, folks. What a time to be alive. Jack, it might be time for you to invest some time into your draft content.
I need to start looking at college football. This might be the year.
It might be the year. You know what? It might be the year that Aaron Donald gets like a Good Samaritan award. I don't know if you watched the clip.
I did watch the clip.
Oh my goodness. We've talked about it before. Aaron Donald trains with knives. Like, there is not an altercation I would want Aaron Donald to be against me in. Like, if he's on my side, I win automatically. I don't care if it's me plus Aaron Donald against like an army. I think Aaron Donald.
I'd stick with Aaron Donald.
I lean Aaron Donald there. So he had an altercation up in Pittsburgh, I believe, and people were saying, "Oh, he's going to get suspended. Oh, he's going to." A lot of that was tongue in cheek. Cardinals fans, yeah, just suspend him until we're done playing the Rams. A little bit of tongue in cheek.
That was shout out to our boy Nick L.
Yeah, shout out to my pal Nick L. there. I don't think Donald. Yeah, I don't think Donald is going to get any like serious repercussions from this. It looked like it was more of like a, like, you know, in a baseball brawl, you have a coach that like breaks everything up.
Yeah.
I was watching a highlight clip yesterday. Brett Laurie of the Blue Jays got rung up, slammed his helmet, hit the ump. He went ballistic. And then one of the bench coaches like sprinted and was like practically carrying Lowry off the field.
What was filed from ESPN from Twitter? This is what I'm reading, not from ESPN directly, but this is Aaron Donald's lawyer says DeVincent Spriggs is the guy he got in an altercation with. Apparently, swung a bottle that grazed Donald's head as Donald was quickly restrained by friends before getting people off Spriggs outside a Pittsburgh area bar. So,
yeah, I mean, I don't think Donald is going to get in any sort of legal trouble.
The tweet before it says, this is from Lindsay Theory. She's ESPN's beat writer for the Rams. Aaron Donald's lawyer doesn't anticipate that Pittsburgh PD will charge. Okay, there you go.
Okay, good news for the Rams. Bad news for the rest of the NFC West. Good news for football fans in general.
Yeah, that would have sucked regardless of whether I was a Rams fan. Seeing Aaron Donald get suspended would suck. Mm-hmm. It sucked seeing him hold out for as long as he did because, geez. 2017, he missed week 1 because he held out until the Saturday before week 1. So,
yeah, it's not fun to see superstar like Hall of Fame. Like, if Donald retired tomorrow, he's in the Hall of Fame. I guess we could talk about Edelman's Hall of Fame case later in the show, but
that's something
Aaron
else
Donald
that happens.
Is a slam dunk Hall of Famer, even if you're retired tomorrow. So, do you want to go into the Edelman Hall of Fame debate? Is it a really debate?
It's not really a debate. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, and I was listening to the Bill Simmons show yesterday, and they touched on it that even Bill Simmons, who's Boston through and through, doesn't think Edelman's a Hall of Famer, and it's just kind of sucks that Edelman did a lot of great things with the Patriots, did a lot of great things for the NFL. He is one of the greatest playoff performers ever, but as soon as he retired, it became, is he a Hall of Famer? You're taking the spotlight away from his career. You're just saying, oh no, he's not a Hall of Famer, or you're making a pretty I don't want to say stupid argument that he's a Hall of Famer, because I can see a universe that Edelman is in the NFL Hall of Fame. But there are so many guys, wide receivers in particular, there are so many guys that we can talk about that I think deserve to be in the Hall of Fame more than Julian Edelman. And there are guys that even in this group of wide receivers that, Edelman's better in the playoffs. Edelman, how much better is Edelman than, say, Torrey Holt, Steve Smith, Anquan Bolden? Those guys are great in the playoffs too. It's just they didn't play with Tom Brady, and there's I mentioned it on the app a couple days ago that the Edelman Hall of Fame case, at least in terms of playoff stats, is a little overrated because he played in so many games. A little underrated because some of the games that he did play in early in his career, he wasn't a focal point of the offense, and he had 2 years that he missed entirely due to injury. The year they Super Bowl 52 year, didn't play at all in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So missed 3 games that he could have added 250 more yards in the playoffs. He has the longest streak. I have the banner up from yesterday. Let me find it. He has the longest streak in NFL playoff history. There we are. Edelman had an NFL record 13 consecutive playoff games with at least 50 yards. Now, here's the thing. Not many guys play 13 playoff games, so I get that. I get it. But when it mattered, Edelman was productive. So I think that's what really we should focus on. We should focus on how good he was rather than is he Hall of Famer or not.
Yeah.
And if we got comments on the last show that, no, he's not a Hall of Famer, I agree. Is there a way that he makes the Hall of Fame? Sure. But I think with how the NFL Hall of Fame is set up, there's a lot of guys that I would take over Edelman. And that's no disrespect to Edelman. He had a great career, 7th-round pick, started as a quarterback at Kent State. I was rewatching the Ravens-Patriots game from 2011 a couple nights ago, and Edelman was playing cornerback in the playoffs against Anquan Boldin. Like, come on now. So, and then he, of course, he had the touchdown in 2014. Excellent player, and I don't want to take that away from him by saying, oh, he's not a Hall of Famer. Excellent player. Let's have the Hall of Fame debate another time. We can have it in 4 or 5 years. Awesome player. Tough to see him go. Tough to see him go out with all the injuries in recent years, but one of the greatest playoff performers ever, and he's a guy that Boston's going to sorely miss.
I think he basically said it all. There you go.
If we want to stay in Boston, happy birthday to Bill Belichick. Number.
Oh yeah,
59.
Bill Belichick has the funny number birthday.
Nice. Yeah, nice.
I don't know why I put this on the script. I just thought it was like because there was a Bill Belichick debate earlier. I think that I got a push for.
Was he? Is he the greatest head coach ever? I mean, I think that's. Is that really a debate? No. Hey, come on now. Frankie, I know you don't like Belichick, but come on. He's the greatest.
He's pretty freaking good.
Yeah. It's like, say what you will about what he did this year. Say what you will about what he did with the Browns or the years that he didn't.
You look at his roster this year. I mean, like I've said before, the system, is it Brady? Is it Belichick? I think it's more Brady and Belichick.
Mm-hmm.
But to give Belichick some credit, you look at what he had a year where his team had the most COVID opt-outs of any other team. And then the guys that did stay on board for the year, some of them were getting hurt.
Good. COVID with Cam.
They were getting, you had your QB1 get COVID. So,
and here's the wild thing. If they have Cam in that game against Kansas City, I'm not even talking about Cam not getting COVID and then him being like healthier the rest of the way. If Cam plays against Kansas City, they beat the Chiefs. Chiefs fans debate a brick wall. They go 8-8 if Cam doesn't get COVID, just because he plays in the Chiefs game and because he's better than Brian Hoyer and better than Jarrett Stidham. They went 8-8. They beat some good teams. They beat the Ravens. They killed the chart. They 45-0.
45-0. I like to make jokes that I put a curse on the Chargers before that game, because the day before that game, that was when I went to SoFi Stadium and took pictures in front of it. Yeah, I like to make jokes that I curse the Chargers for that. That wasn't I didn't even think about that. I just knew, it's gonna suck because like they're the Chargers are playing tomorrow, so all the Chargers stuff is gonna be on the Oculus and stuff.
Yeah.
And then it's like that stuff didn't really make it into the pictures, but I was like, I'll just deal with it. And then they lose the next day 45-0. So
it happens, I would imagine a lot of teams. I don't think the Ravens have lost 45-0, but I would imagine every team that's been.
We lost 45-6 to the Ravens.
You did. The Ravens lost, I believe, 44-7 to Jacksonville in London, which is one of the worst days of my life. I woke up early for that game, 9:30 Eastern, would have been 6:30 Pacific, so I doubt you woke up for it, but you just get bent over by the Jaguars. At least that was the year they went to the AFC title game, and they swept the division, to be fair.
If I have to get up for a 6:30 game, I'm doing it. But I don't care.
The Jags Ravens.
Well, if my team's playing in it, I should say.
Okay.
If my team's playing in it.
Speaking of your team, we got some Dodgers, we got some Padres tonight. Fernando Tatis is back. I thought there were some reports that he was going to be out 6 months. Like the day after he got injured, I remember it was like super somber. Like in the fantasy baseball group chat, like in my work chat for the baseball stuff that I write, it's like kind of sad. Like because he's one of the Tatis is one of the most exciting players ever. Not even like current day ever. Like point blank ever. And it's like, oh, he's gonna be gone like a month, 2 months, 6 months, and then all of a sudden, hey, guess what? He's back. He's playing the Dodgers tonight. What you thinking for this series this weekend?
How many games is it? It's 3 games.
Yeah, 3 games.
I think all of them are going to be close.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to split the first 2, and then the Dodgers are going to win on a walk-off in Game 3.
Yeah, I'm leaning. So the Dodgers are off to one of the hottest starts ever by reigning World Series champion or non-reigning World Series champion. 11-2, they've won 9 of their last 10. Padres, to their credit, are 9-5, I believe. So they're only 2.5, 3 back. Joe Musgrove, shout out to my guy. I drafted him in fantasy. He threw a no-hitter.
That's also on our scripts too, by the way.
Oh yes, it is. So shout out to Joe Musgrove and also shout out to Carlos Rodon. I'm not going to play the clip because we got copyright striked yesterday for it. But Carlos Rodon lost a perfect game on a hit by pitch.
And the way he was hit by the pitch makes me cringe internally.
Ooh. Okay.
Like the way
it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. If you want a perfect game, make a better pitch than that.
Yeah, that's fair. But it just makes me like the fact that it just taps his foot like that. Like it bounced off of his foot. He didn't even get hurt by it. And you're gonna that's a hit by pitch that ruins a perfect game.
Okay. While I understand where you're coming from, and I don't like seeing perfect games wiped off the board. It's not like the Jose Tabata, Max Scherzer incident that Tabata like leans in, gets hit on the elbow. This is like a bad pitch from Rodon. This is one that he spikes, and instead of spiking it like on the plate, he spikes it on the man's shoe. So I get it. Could Perez have jumped out of the way? Yes, I guess. But I understand he lost a no-hitter. I'm sorry. I understand he lost a perfect game on it. Make a better pitch. And it's not a Jose Tabata leaning in. It's not a Michael Conforto. His elbow is in the strike zone. It was a bad pitch. And he finished off the no-hitter. So
yeah.
Shout out to Rodon. Shout out to
what was his name? I remember sending this highlight to a friend the other day. I completely forgot his name, and he's Tony Abreu. Shout out to Tony Abreu for keeping the no-hitter alive with that incredible splits play. Like,
yes,
that was ridiculous.
Jose Abreu?
Jose Abreu, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said NBC. It was a typo from NBC Sports. That's why.
Reigning AL MVP Jose Abreu, phenomenal play there. I believe that was the first out of the inning. It really smelled like a Galarraga play, and it's like, holy crap, he actually got him out. That was
ridiculous.
Insane play.
That was insane.
And speaking of insane plays, oh yeah,
the Nacho guy. So we pushed this out earlier this morning.
But yeah, you walk us through what happened here.
Justin Turner hits a home run right into the guy holding the nachos. He gets the ball, the nachos and the ball of the guy. And Justin Turner then goes on to pay for his new nachos. And the guy also gets a World Series jacket. So everything wraps up nicely.
Yeah. And okay, here's my question. When you put that ball like on your mantle or something, do you clean the ball off?
I don't think you clean the ball off.
I don't think you do either. Like I think you get like a container so it doesn't like stink up your entire house.
You eventually you're gonna want to clean it up because it's gonna rot. But initially, like
I don't know.
Or what you could just do is you lick the ball, you lick the nacho cheese off the ball, and then you spray it with sanitizer or something.
I don't know if I'm licking a baseball.
That's true. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here.
Especially in a Dodgers game, like when Trevor Bauer's like putting his sticky stuff.
True. Yeah, true. People have their. I forgot people have their crap over the ball. Just forget I said
like
that.
whether it's rosin or pine tar. And I'm not trying to call Bauer out, but pitchers do use pine tar. Pitchers do use rosin. Pitchers do use this kind of material, and it's.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm looking at baseball, man.
Probably not going to lick the ball. I don't know. That was just a knee-jerk thing.
All right,
But-
so we push this out on the app. What food would you sacrifice to get a souvenir from a sports event?
So whether it's someone throwing a hockey puck to you, or maybe you catch a football in the stands. I hear
Or
you have to
push
give one
baseball.
back, by the way, if you do that. But
Oh, the football. I guess it depends on the circumstance. So we got our boy Nick L. Might get hate for this one, but popcorn. I mean, I guess
it's easier to catch if it's like one of those big tubs of popcorn. Like your popcorn might go flying all over the place, but the ball gets cushioned right in there.
yeah.
Like it would go right into the popcorn,
Mhm.
and so it wouldn't like bounce out, and you might lose the ball
Right.
or something.
Because like that nacho tray, it's going to destroy the nacho tray. But like a box of popcorn.
At least
like,
your popcorn your popcorn would just go flying, so you get like a nice little fanfare. I guess.
That would be funny. Frank says popcorn. Mitt says popcorn. Antifa Alex says a hot dog.
It's a Dodger dog for me, probably.
Ooh.
Which it would be hard to part with a Dodger dog.
How expensive are Dodger dogs?
I don't know. I haven't been to Dodger
'Cause I
Stadium in a
know
while.
like some of the Braves stuff that I guess the thing that I'm thinking of is it's like a burger pizza, but that you get at a restaurant. You don't bring that back to your seat. Although I think my buddy got an 18-inch slice of pizza once. Shout out to my boy Jackson.
$6.75. I just looked it up.
Ooh.
As of November 18th, 2020. It could have changed, but
Yeah, I mean, I think you can replace a Dodger dog that's fine. I think if it's under $10.
The thing is, I kind of have to flex here, but the last 2 Dodger games I went to, I was in the all-you-can-eat section, so I was getting Dodger dogs for free. So
Oh, nice.
it's pretty easy to replace a free Dodger dog because
All right.
you just walk right back down there and get another one. So
Okay, so Bam Bam says popcorn, Mad Easy. Kirk Cousins for MVP says downvote me, but it's hot dogs. Nelson Rodriguez says soft dough pretzels. No. Every other answer here, valid.
You don't. You do
can't-
not sacrifice pretzels.
No, you don't sacrifice the pretzels. And I don't know if they read this as like if you got rid of a food at a ballpark or a food at an event. Why are you getting rid of freaking pretzels? Like, what is wrong with pretzels? Honestly, like if you want to get rid of a salty snack, get rid of popcorn.
Those are like the food. Like when I was little and going to sports games, it was always pretzels.
Or
like
at least
the
like
soft
hard
pretzels.
Okay, I get it. But soft
If it's a hard one, sure. Like if you haven't eaten it for a little bit and it
Ooh.
like gets stale, then fine. But if it's like you just got it fresh and it's like all soft and warm,
yeah. What do you put any like mustard on your pretzel?
I just do salt.
Okay. See, a little bit of mustard plus ooh, yes. Now I'm hungry.
Maybe I'll try mustard in the future. I don't know.
I don't know where I can get a pretzel in Tucson. I don't know. Continuing, Mount Becton popcorn. Nose says pretzels. Nose, I gotta disagree, man.
Come on.
Sean Judd says MetLife Stadium pizza. I'm gonna have to look this up. Like
that's quite specific.
Yeah, let me see. Is this okay? So we got MetLife Stadium pizza. Is that like anything specific? I mean, it doesn't look like it's anything specific. It's like that's
like what?
Ooh, is that Cheetos popcorn? I think
is that Cheetos? That's Cheetos in a popcorn bucket. I think is what it is.
Yeah. That looks good. Okay. Papa John's. Ooh, I'm sorry. If I'm going to a baseball game and I order that, that's more important than the baseball. I'm not a huge fan of Cheetos.
I'm not really a Cheetos guy. I'm a pizza guy more than a Cheetos guy. So
that pizza looks good.
That pizza looks really good.
Why do you have a fork and wings?
You might as well take this opportunity to give us the Dodger dogs so I can show you guys what I mean. But yeah, the Dodger dogs are pretty good too.
See, I wouldn't necessarily eat that, but that does look like good pizza.
And that's on the other end of the spectrum. We won't look at that one.
Oh boy. And then that's like high quality bar food. Ooh,
that was near.
I don't know what exactly that is, but we'll take it. So we got a Dodger dog. That's a very long dog there. Steve.
Yeah, they're pretty long, and I think that's what makes them really like delicious.
$21.
They're so big.
I don't know if I'm buying it.
That one. $21 for that? Nah.
Look at there's corn. Is that, I guess, pico? That guy's
it's just like the actual like sausage part of it is really good. It's like good enough to the point where you honestly can have it plain and it's just good enough. Like, or you can put like ketchup on it or mustard on it and it's really good either way.
Let me find that Braves pizza burger.
Oh my god. What is that? This just became a whole debate about stadium food.
Look at that. Look at the cross section on that.
That's
a heart attack on a plate.
And you're gonna lose an artery or two after that.
Oh my goodness. Look at that. That looks so good.
It does look really good. It does look really good. But oh my god. You are asking for a heart attack.
Okay, let's get back to what we were doing. Okay, so pretzels, to be honest, MetLife Stadium pizza, hot dogs easily. Steven says pizza. Lambo, popcorn or hot dog. Colin says miss me with hot dogs. Landon, popcorn, even though I love it. And then Coach Taylor, shout out to my boy Coach Taylor. I mean, any food is worthy of sacrificing for a sports souvenir. At what point do you agree with that? At what, like, between, say, I don't know, if you got like a baseball card?
I would say it depends on the sport, honestly, because you think about the different sports that like and how often like stuff like that will fly into the stands.
Mm-hmm.
Baseballs, you're gonna, if you show up early to a baseball game, there's a pretty good chance you're gonna end up with a baseball.
Yeah, actually, I have a pro tip for that. If you go to a ballpark, wear the opposing team's colors.
This is a Zach Campbell technique. Shout out to Zach Campbell.
For example, I went to a Braves game, but I wore a Steven Strasburg Nationals jersey. It was Nats Braves. So I buddied up with some of the Nationals players in the outfield and got a couple balls.
Yeah. I went to a Dodgers Twins game in 20. I don't even remember what year it was, but like my friend who's there, he brought like a Twins hat. So they were like pitching. He was like playing I think his brother was playing catch with one of the Twins players. So
yeah, exactly. If I go to a Nationals game in DC, I'll wear Braves stuff. If I go to I don't really have a ton of jerseys at the moment, but like if that
is enough sometimes, honestly.
I went to an Indians White Sox game in Chicago, but I wore this hat, and like some Indians fans were like, "What's up?" I'm like, "Go Tribe." So yeah, good times were had by all. Good times were had.
But yeah, anyway, like when you consider like baseball versus like football, like I said, I think there's, unless the player like means to give it to you, I think there's a rule that you actually have to give the ball back. I don't know that 100%.
Right.
Soccer, I think it's the same thing. Hockey, it probably won't happen, but if it does, you're not gonna have to give the puck back. Like you can keep the puck.
I know when I play NHL, occasionally it goes over the wall, over the glass.
The thing is, when it goes over the glass in like either of the two offensive zones, there's netting.
Yeah.
So, like it would have to go out into like the side area, like above the bench or the penalty box or something.
But, it'd be pretty rare, but I would imagine you keep the puck. You might not.
You do keep the puck. I know you do.
But you would keep the puck.
Hockey, you're more than likely to get a puck in warm-ups. Like you can go over and like ask for puckers. I don't know. But if you hang out by the boards during warm-ups, you're more than likely to probably end up with something.
Yeah, I don't know. If I got like baseball cards, like if I went to a Braves game and I got like a pack of baseball cards, I might not give up my hot dog for that, right? But like if I got a ball from Freddie Freeman, or like if I caught a home run ball, then sure, I would sacrifice my food. I'd rather not have it splatter everywhere. Actually, I mentioned before the show that I got shocked by a ramen noodle.
You did. You got shocked by a ramen noodle.
So it like explodes everywhere, right? I don't want that to happen, and that happened in my dorm room, so that's a mess. But like even in like a stadium,
it's worse when it happins at a stadium because you're like it's a public area, everyone can see you.
Yeah,
and then it's just like, okay, well, where do I go clean this up? Like,
yeah,
it makes me wonder, like, you know, when mascots sometimes pie opposing fans in the face, it's like. It's funny and all, but then I think about like, damn, where are they going to go clean that off? Like that must be brutal.
Yeah, I got the stadium bathrooms.
No thanks.
Cleanliness right there.
No thanks.
Oh my goodness. I know when I'm back in Atlanta, I'm gonna go to a Freddie Freeman bobblehead night for his MVP award. So I would take the Freddie Freeman bobblehead over whatever food I get that night.
Yeah, sure. I think it's like so your point, I guess it also depends on the kind of memorabilia that it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because like if it's like a walk-off bottom of the ninth home run ball, like yeah, you're gonna want that. But if it's like
it's like a baseball card, like I have a Sean Newcomb baseball card on my wall back home. I would have totally given that up to get like nachos. Like Tucson, nachos slap. But that's beside the point. Let's move on. We got some hockey to talk about today. So who do you think is gonna be lifting Lord Stanley's Cup in a couple months?
So right now, a lot of the talk seems to kind of be centered around Vegas and Colorado because both of those teams are absolutely coming alive. Like the Golden Knights played 2 games against the Kings, and the Kings have. Take it from personal experience. The Kings have turned into the meme of the guy holding up the sign saying our expectations for you were low, but holy fuck. Because like I expect them to do bad, but like Jonathan Quick gave up one of the worst goals ever I've seen. Like someone on I think it was Max Pacioretty. He just lobs the puck in from the blue line. It's like a little dump, and it takes a bounce off the ice and goes past Quick and in. He got pulled after that, and I was like, just...
Oh, man. Okay.
That was bad. It was terrible. But Vegas, for real, is a really, really good team. Something that's been brought to attention lately is how they're, like, they've done a really good job. And I had a really good chance seeing it personally, is seeing, like, their whole... they combine their speed with their strength abilities because like there are a lot like really big guys like Ryan Reeves, I know is one of them.
Right.
Alex Tuck, another one. Mark Stone. Like these are just guys that are able, like they're big burly guys, and yet they're like short-handed, going on multiple breakaways and scoring goals at like this crazy high speed that you wouldn't expect from guys their size. Like they're Aaron Donalds, basically. Like they're just so big, but they're so fast. And it's like they're able to combine that so well. They can play both like the physical and speedy areas of the game so well. This is a really strong team. And you know, Vegas fans, you guys should be lucky you have this like only 3 years in your existence. And year 1, you went to the Stanley Cup final. Year 2, if you didn't blow it against San Jose, who knows? Yeah, but then now year 3, you're looking poised to be in a really good spot.
Yeah, and
Colorado,
here we are. My Red Wings have a .422 point percentage, which is the worst in the division and one of the worst in hockey. Not quite as bad as Buffalo. Although Buffalo is like 5-2-3 in their last 10, so they've turned it around after like going winless for
18 game losing streak.
Yeah, like that's bad. At least they've kind of turned it around for there. But Colorado is red hot. Like when I do polls, it seems like they've had 9 losses for the last month. So they're 39-4. They have a 7.44 point percentage. That means in every 2 games, essentially they're winning one and losing the other one in overtime. So out of every 4 points, they're getting 3. They are 9-1-0 in their last 10 games. You don't just do that, and they're insane.
from what I've seen from Colorado, they're really, really good at not only getting a lot of shots on goal, but like they win the shots on goal war most of the time, and it's not even close. Like they do like they'll play games where they'll like suppress the amount of shots on goal so well because of their puck possession. They're able to just pass the puck around so well and possess it so well during changes and stuff. And defensively, they're just such a really good team. The other team doesn't really get that many shots on goal, and then they actually just traded for Devin Dubnyk, which is insane. Like the goaltender depth is ridiculous.
Absolutely,
like Devin Dubnyk and Philip Grubauer, like that's
unfair.
Filthy. It's unfair. It's unfair.
That is unfair. So as far as I remember, the way the NHL is doing the playoffs this year is a little bit different from what they usually do in terms of how they get the matchup for the Stanley Cup final. So, of course, Colorado and Vegas aren't going to play in the Stanley Cup final, but one of them could play. So, as far as I remember, one of them will be in. Like,
it's not like they ever could because they're both Western teams, but still.
Right. So, one of them will probably. Sorry, Minnesota. Sorry, St. Louis. One of them will probably be in the last four. So, the winner of the West, if you will. So, I guess I can walk through. So, the top four in each division go to the playoffs. Then. Correct. It's 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3. So right now it would be Colorado and St. Louis, and then Vegas, Minnesota. So they play the round of 16 series, and they have a quarterfinal series, and then you get say Colorado. Say it could be Colorado, Carolina, Washington, and Toronto. How do they order those teams, and how do you find the two that go to the Stanley Cup final?
I think what it is, I think it's like they want to keep it as like divisionally, like location wise tight as possible.
Okay, it's seeded by regular season point total. Okay,
it is. Okay, so yeah, that's going to be kind of, I don't know what they're going to do, because the Vancouver Canucks, I don't know if I put this on the script or not, the Canucks have not been able to play a game in ages because not only did they get hit with COVID, but it's one of those ugly variants. So
okay. In fairness to them, they're out of the playoff picture right now. So
that's true.
If there's any positive to the situation,
that's a bad thing to say, by the way. If there's any positives,
Okay. Anyways, so in a hypothetical scenario that the number one team in each division makes the Final Four. So you'd have number 1 seed Colorado, number 2 seed Carolina, and then it'd be, I don't know how they would determine the tiebreaker. Well, let's say they do it on goal differential. So Toronto would be the 3 seed, Washington would be the 4. So in this circumstance, we have Colorado versus Washington. I think we both take Colorado, right?
Yeah.
And then we have Carolina versus Toronto. Does Toronto go to their first cup in 50 years?
Honestly, I think they do.
Okay. I
feel like Toronto's gone on a. It's hard to say because the way the league has been kind of structured out this year, I have barely been seeing any games outside of the West Division.
And it's hard because Toronto's gonna probably roll through the North, right? They're gonna get to play Colorado, Vegas, one of those teams, right? Someone like them. They haven't played against each other all year. In
a normal year, they would be playing each other 4 or 5 times a season. I think.
Yeah, depending on East-West stuff, you're gonna at least play every team twice, right?
Yeah,
you're gonna play on every team's home ice. They're gonna have to come to your home ice. But this year, the first time Toronto plays Vegas could be Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. The first time Toronto plays the Islanders could be Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. That's going to lead to some crazy matchups, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, it's going to be so weird. We could get a team that's under normal circumstances would be in the East, 2 teams that under normal circumstances that would be in the West, for example, could be in the Stanley Cup Final.
This year, as of right now, it'd be Toronto and Washington, or Toronto and Carolina and Washington. All those are East teams. That usually doesn't happen. Although I do think Colorado is going to at least make the final, if not win the final.
And then we also have the Tampa Bay Lightning, who there should be in the playoff spot by now, right?
Yeah, they're the number 2 seed in the
Yeah.
Central, 698 point percentage.
By the way, how about the Florida Panthers?
670.
I did not.
They're in third.
They are going crazy this
There's
year.
a huge gap between 3 and 4. Right now, 4 is Nashville, but Nashville is 5 points up with 5 points up on Dallas. Dallas has 3 games in hand, though. And Nashville, they only have 9 games left. So if Dallas can go on a little bit of a run here, we might see the Stars back in the playoffs. And of course, last year they went on a run all the way to the Cup final where they lost to Tampa. True. So who knows? And shout out to my Red Wings. They are not the worst team in hockey. They should get 40 points in the next couple of days. So good stuff. So let's move on to some hot takes. We got the hot take-o-meter. It's back. We didn't actually use it last week, which sucks because we love the hot take-o-meter. So let's pull it up. Do you have any hot takes that tickle your fancy?
Let me find the post.
All right, here we go. This is from Holden, friend of the show. J.C. Horn is the best corner in the draft.
This is a you question.
I could see it happening. I would probably go jalapeno. I think Patrick Surtain is very, very good, and I would take Surtain over Horn. But it's okay if you have Horn CB1. Plenty of good reason to. I have him as CB3 behind Farley, but injury concerns with Farley. I think Horn's going to be a great player in the NFL, though. So I'd probably go jalapeno. I think Surtain's a little bit better. This is from Chef Squill. Eat a ghost pepper on stream. No.
I'm good. Thank you.
That's a Carolina Reaper take there.
That is a very I'm going to want some milk after that one.
Yeah, he needs some milk. Shu says, Jason Tatum is better than Kawhi Leonard this season. Just ghost pepper. Like, I get that he balled out the other day. I get that Tatum has some of these moments, but Kawhi,
he's not better than Kawhi.
No, he's not better than Kawhi. How to says LeBron is top 100 in the NBA right now.
No,
wow, really?
That's a Carolina Reaper take.
Yeah. Lambo Truck says Hines Ward and Edelman both have solid Hall of Fame cases, and Trey Lance will be known as the second best quarterback prospect in this draft a few years from now. He wouldn't really be known as a prospect then, but I understand what you're saying. I think that's fine. That can happen.
I think he means, but they're going to look back on him and say he was the second best.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I'd probably go Serrano, depending on who drafts him. If it is 49ers that draft him, we'll go Serrano. If it's not the 49ers, we'll go Tabasco.
Yeah, I would say it really depends on who drafts him and then how the other talent does around him too, because obviously Trevor Lawrence is number 1, but then you also have guys like Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Mac Jones that all have the potential to maybe do better than Trey Lance. So
right. And we touched on the Edelman Hall of Fame candidacy earlier. I think he has a solid case, but at this point, you need more than a solid case. Right?
There's just, and there's too many people that I think that are more deserving.
Hines Ward, I think, falls into the same category. He's has a little bit more production in the regular season. Great play in the playoffs. Did a lot. Like, his impact on the game is not something you can just see like, oh, he had 1,200 yards. He was also the best blocking wide receiver in the NFL. He was a great teammate too. So I think Ward probably has more things going in his favor than just the stats would say, but I don't think either of them are going to make the Hall of Fame, at least for a while. All right. Fail for Fields. Jim Brown is the best player in NFL history.
Carolina Reaper.
I think you can make the argument. Like, I would not say Jim Brown, but I can see the argument. I'd probably go Chili to Arple. All right. Okay. Dak Prescott is not a top 10 quarterback.
This is already off to a spicy start.
Spicy. I'm going to say Cayenne for that one. Like, I can see the universe that he's not, but he is. I think he is.
Yeah.
Okay. Kirk Cousins is a top 10 quarterback.
We're just getting higher and higher up on this meter, aren't we?
Okay. Actually, I really do like Cousins, and I think he's a top 10 quarterback. I think he's there. I'm gonna go.
He's top 15 for me.
I'm gonna go Tabasco because I can see the world that like Burrow and Herbert come in and knock him out. But Yeah, I think Cousins is right at 10.
Sure.
Harrison Smith is a top 10 safety ever. Okay. Here, I'm just going to go through like just a quick little list of 10 safeties I'd rather have than Harrison Smith. Ed Reed, Troy Polamalu, Brian Dawkins, Ronnie Lott. That's 4. Paul Krause. Shout out to the Vikings for that one. That's 5. Earl Thomas. So that's 6. I mean, Charles Woodson is a corner, I know, but he played safety at the end of his career. So Charles Woodson.
3 more.
We're gonna go. I'd probably go Atwater. So that's 8. Give me. I don't want to say Bob Sanders, and I don't want to say like Derwin James or Minka or any guy that hasn't played like a ton of years. Out of respect to oh my goodness, I'm blanking on the Seattle guy, not Chancellor. The guy like, oh, he's in the Hall of Fame.
Sherman?
No,
he's in the Hall of Fame. You said.
So I'm on 8. Let me look it up because I'm just totally blanking. He's in the Hall of Fame. He played like 8 years, but he was absolutely insane.
Apologies for my. I don't know if people can hear my sibling losing his mind in the background.
Let's see. Wow, if Dan is watching the show, he's gonna kill me.
Tell us who it is, by the way, Dan.
Seattle
Hall of Fame safety.
Okay, so we're going Ronnie Lott. That's I'll just redo them. Lott, Reed, Charles Woodson. That's 3. Kenny Easley. That's who it is. 4. Paul Krause 5. Johnny Robinson 6. Robinson's just, I would classify more as just like a defensive back. Dawkins 6, Polamalu 7, Atwater 8. I guess at 8 you can start to have the argument. I think that's fine. So you can, I guess, have the argument he's better than everyone that I just named, but I have a hard time putting him that high, and probably Ken Houston as well.
I think you've named at like 10 or 11 at this point.
So that's 9. Ken Houston makes 9. As we just had a little graphics malfunction there. So let me see if I got all of these. Okay, here's my 10. Lott, Reed, Woodson, Easley, Robinson, Krause, Houston, Dawkins, Polamalu, Atwater. There's my 10. I mean, I think he's a great safety. I don't necessarily think he's a Hall of. Let me look up his accolades because I know he is. It's like the Levante David thing that he played with a lot of talented players, especially in his conference. But I don't know. I don't think Harrison Smith. You can tell the history of the NFL without Harrison Smith. That's the point that I'm going to make. 5-time Pro Bowler, only a 1-time All-Pro. So I'm going to say that's probably Scotch Bonnet today.
Okay.
All right. Saquon Barkley isn't a top 6 running back.
This is all from Kirk Cousins for MVP on the app, by the way.
Yes, it is.
Saquon isn't a top 6 RB, and then his last point is Antonio Brown was the best receiver of the 2010s.
I think those are actually like fair takes. So with Barkley, you'd probably take. The argument for Henry, McCaffrey, Chubb, Cook.
Akers in a few years. I'm calling it now.
Akers in a few years. Taylor in a few years. That's 4. There's one guy who am I missing?
Eckler?
Kamara.
Maybe?
Kamara, that's 5.
Kamara, yeah, true.
I don't know.
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar would be a top 10 running back.
He would, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I think there's a pretty solid 5 ahead of him. And if you want to argue, say Josh Jacobs, I'm not the biggest fan of Josh Jacobs. Joe Mixon, I'm not the biggest fan of Mixon.
If he was healthy, Todd Gurley. I'm going to say that right now.
I'm gonna say no on that one. But I don't know. That's solid. I'm fine with that. And Antonio Brown was the best receiver of the 2010s. I don't know why the graphic is having a spaz, but I think that's fair. That's weird. Anyways, I think that's fair. Antonio Brown, best receiver of the 2010s. It's him or Julio. I'm cool with that. Fail for Field says Peyton Manning is the GOAT quarterback. No.
Tom Brady.
Yeah, I would say
Moving
Brady.
on.
I mean, you can. I guess it's just a difference on how you perceive like greatness. Like if you say you want, like I compare it to Madden. So right, if you're playing Madden, what do you want your player to retire with? Would you rather have your player retire with 7 rings and 3 MVPs, or 7 All Pros and 2 Super Bowls? It really just depends. Like I'm not gonna argue with you there.
You really have to think about that one, honestly. Like,
Kirk Cousins for MVP. Aaron Rodgers isn't top 5 all time. I mean, again, greatest, maybe not. Best, he's easily number 1.
Sure.
Steel City Jake, I don't care what the stats say. If by pure ability, dominance, clutch gene, and mental drive to be great, Antonio Brown is pound for pound the best, or pound for pound the greatest receiver in history. The longevity with Jerry Rice, man. Maybe you can argue Brown had a higher peak, but
it's Jerry Rice.
Yeah, it's Jerry Rice. Glenn says Mushin Muhammad is the most underrated wide receiver in NFL history. I would argue he's not even the most underrated wide receiver in Panthers history. But I do think Muhammad is very underrated. Steve Smith, Panthers career, wildly underrated.
Name it rings a bell. I don't know why I don't remember him.
Okay, so let's roll through these. The Jags have at least 3 players worthy of gold jackets, but they haven't been voted in because they played for the Jags. I mean,
this is a shout out to our buddy Mike, who's
friend of the show. I mean, I guess he's arguing Fred Taylor, Jimmy Smith, and Tony Baselli. Like, I love Fred Taylor. I don't think he's in the Hall of Fame.
Come on, he's talking about Jalen Ramsey here.
I don't know, Mike. I think Jimmy Smith probably would be a Hall of Famer at any other position besides wide receiver, but that's tough. Joey Heisman, Zach Wilson is overrated.
AF.
Can we push the brakes a little bit? Can we see him play in the NFL first?
Yes, that's. Yeah, with all these overrated things, like he looked like this in college or whatever. Let's watch him play in an actual pro setting where it matters and go from there.
Here we go. Nick Chubb will be the best running back this season. I could see it.
Definitely a real chance, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Aiden Noble. Zeke is an average running back. I wouldn't go that far, but I don't think he's like elite anymore.
No, he's not elite, but he's definitely not a pushover. He knows what he's doing.
We have friends of the show. Respect my 40. The Suns lose round 1 of the NBA playoffs.
Oh boy, where's Dan?
Okay, so right now the Suns, I believe, are the 2 seed. They might end up being the 3 seed. Here's the thing: it depends on the matchup. It really depends on the matchup for Phoenix. If they get, like, say the Lakers round 1, they lose.
They are losing to Dan. They are losing to the Lakers in round 1.
If they happen to play the Lakers in round 1, they lose that series. But if they play like the Nuggets, I think they beat the Nuggets.
Yeah. Sure.
If they play like Dallas, they could lose to Dallas. I do think that's a pretty solid take. I wouldn't necessarily bet on it, especially not knowing the matchup that it will end up being. But yeah, let's move on. 5th and goal says Trey Lance still overrated. Can we see him play in a game? Jedi Master J. Rashad Bateman will be Offensive Rookie of the Year. I like this a lot. I think he is incredibly polished and will probably play with a better quarterback than Smith, Chase, or Waddle.
Unfortunately, the NFL is a very QB biased league. So
That's true.
if Trevor Lawrence balls out of his mind, then they're going to give it to Trevor Lawrence. But
that's very true. Hotep says, "Is Carolina Reaper still the hottest pepper?" As far as we know, it is. Although, do notice that it is not all the way at the top of the scale. It's only there. So
there could be another.
There could be another. Hotep says Kings will retire. Or Kings will hang Heald's jersey in the rafters when he retires. I don't see it.
No.
All right. Well, that's
we're
it.
We're not going to read the last one, by the way.
No, we're not going to read the last one. Yeah, we're just going to wrap up the show today. Any last words, Jack, before we close it down?
Comment below if you want to see me wear a hat again. This is, I think, my first time ever wearing a hat on the show. Because we're talking Dodgers, so had to rep. But
all right, well, I guess that's that. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like the stream, subscribe to the U Stadium YouTube, follow U Stadium on Twitter, follow U Stadium.
We have so much content coming, guys.
Yes, we have draft content. We got Raja's show tomorrow. We got the Packers show next Wednesday. We got Dallas coming back on Monday. We even have I think we have some more interviews lined up. We might not have any interviews, but I think Play Like a Jet, they have an interview lined up, and I'm sure Nick and Frank here working their
and maybe we'll get one soon too. Who knows?
Yeah, that'd be nice. Maybe really I can get maybe like an Arizona athlete or something, although you don't watch college sports. I don't know. We'll see. We'll try to pull some strings.
Comment below if you could also hear my brother screaming at his games. Nobody's dying. Don't worry. If you can hear that, nobody's dying.
Hey, we had police yesterday. Brianna's getting run down. So
fun.
It happens. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We'll be back next Saturday. Should be at the normal time, 6:30.
Next Friday.
Did I say Saturday?
You said Saturday.
Crap.
Next Friday.
We'll be back next Friday, hopefully at 6:30 Eastern. Maybe Jack and I are super busy again, but 6:30 Eastern. We'll be back next week, and that's a P.